Hello. All right. Hello, hello, and welcome back for another edition of Life Happened. Now What? A four-part series designed to offer you practical ways to regain your momentum after setback, transition, or navigating the unexpected. Today's topic, I'm hype about today's topic. Today's topic is get real. You can't fix what you don't face. So before we jump into today's topic, get real. You can't fix what you won't face. If you already know that you're ready to stop settling for less than God's best for your life in every area of your life, I want to invite you to join me along a sacred journey of healing, rebuilding, and living God's best for your life. Simply head over to the link above this video and the link that's in this video on the screen, liveleadserve.com, and book a call with me so we can talk about the best ways that I can support you along your journey of healing, rebuilding, and living God's best for your life. Now, if you think that this topic is going to be valuable to another woman that you love or somebody you like a little bit, maybe you don't love them or like them, but girl, you know what? You need to get real because you can't fix what you won't face. Just share this with them, tag them, and let's normalize living our life from an anchored place, a place of strength, a place of joy, a place where we ain't gonna say everything is all good, but we're good, regardless of whether everything's all good. And while you're tagging people, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Even if you're watching on the replay, let me know below, where are you watching from? By the way, I'm Janice Anderson, and Christian women who lead, founders, executives, business leaders, and ministry leaders come to me when they're navigating seasons of transition, bouncing back from setbacks, or when they need the strength and strategy for their next season of life. Through our work together, they are able to live and enjoy their significant life instead of the life that they're striving for or settling for. So before we jump into today's topic, I want to share a story about my client, Sheila. I'm going to name her Sheila to protect the innocent. But Sheila, when she came to me and she heard about me. So Sheila heard about me by someone that she really loved. And I was doing a 6-week journey, and she was invited to join this journey. And out of respect for the person that she loved, she was like, okay, I'll go ahead and come, but I don't know if this is going to help me. And she was a little reluctant, not because, and she wrote me a note about it, a 2-page note. I'm going to read a little bit. Email concerning it right here. And she said, there's no disrespect to you, but Sheila loves the Lord. Sheila is a leader in her church. Sheila is actually leader of worship. Sheila leads on her job. Like, she is a woman. She is like the mentor's mentor, right? So what is this class, this journey, this whatever, this Janice has going on? And she said, I really wasn't sure if it could help me. So she did. I'm going to just read a snippet. It's 2 pages. I'm not going to read you all 2 pages, but I want to tell you a little bit about her story, because I believe for many of us, make it happen women who lead, we can find ourselves in her story. I know even as I was reading it, I could relate to aspects of it. She said, I spent about 6 months on my sofa, work, and then the sofa, searching, praying, worshiping, keeping a podcast, a sermon, music in my ears, every moment possible. It was like, if I could imagine a baby with a pacifier, I was a baby. And the only thing that would calm the raging war on the inside of me were these things. No one seemed to notice. I still led worship. I still taught Bible study. I still led a women's group. I oversaw the choir and the Christmas, and nobody noticed or acknowledged my brokenness. To them, I was affectionately known as Miss Sheila, the confidant, the prayer warrior, the mentor, consistently consistent, the get it done Miss Sheila. When I asked for help, for a mentor, it was lovingly redirected. No one wanted to mentor the mentor, I guess. So I survived. I moved on. I got back to my place. I served my family. I served my church. I did my job. I smiled and I kept moving. She said the reality check for me was I could not live a lie anymore. I had no clue who I was. My value or my identity was tied up into what I did for everyone else. Even the simplest things. Who is Sheila? What do I like to do? Those are the questions that I have to ponder and to dig deep for myself, and I still come up empty. And so when I learned about your class, I thought to myself, in no disrespectful way, how can this possibly make a difference? I had no idea, and I absolutely was not ready. And these are her words I love, for the tangible dispatch of the heavens, for heaven's best midwife to coach us through labor and delivery into a new life, a whole and a restored life. You're an answer to many prayers that I couldn't formulate for words. Every single devotion, every single prayer has been very personal to me, peeling back the layers and exposing things that I had long repressed, long forgotten, and things that I simply was unaware of. And this is what I learned. And she was only 10 weeks into our time together, 10 days into our time together. She said, I never had any gates. I had the walls to my city, they were not protected. I was open access to everyone. Acceptance is what I longed for. I wanted to belong. And even though I was surrounded by lots of people, seldom did I feel like I belonged. And most of the time, I felt alone in a room full of people. So I made myself accessible with no boundaries, no guidelines. But I learned through our time together that my soul has a capacity, and all the pouring and little refilling that led me to depletion. And I've been depleted way longer than I'd like to admit. I didn't even know me. I don't know what I like, what I do, my identity has been so consumed by what I do that I did not even know who I was. And there were definitely some open wounds, and I didn't know where God is showing me they're exactly from, but I am aware and I am conscious today that I'm not numb anymore. that I'm not numbing myself to protect myself. So thank you for hearing. Thank you for obeying. Thank you for calling me to a place, for requiring of me that I pull my head out of the sand to confront some things and be honest with myself, own my stuff, and allow the Lord to heal and restore. She ended up saying that I need more time than this time that you have, but I appreciate what has happened. And from now, I'm able to move from surviving into living. Blessings to you and your family. What I love about her story and the aspects that I read, like I said, it was 2 pages, is I could find myself many places along my journey in that same space, filling my ears with things. They were good things, worship songs, messages, podcasts, reading, busying myself to not really deal with what was going on. But if you're in this place, this transition place, this place where you know that you're not at God's best, but for everybody else, they can't tell. For everybody else, it's kind of aspirational for them. For everyone else, it's good, but you know that you're unsettled. I want to tell you, just like I told Sheila, part of entering into space with me and part of doing this life and living a significant life requires of you that you get real. Now, there are 3 things, if you're taking notes, that you got to get real about. Sheila did it. I had to do it. And I'm going to invite you to do it as well. Many of us, first of all, we face seasons of seasons that are familiar but uncomfortable. Like, I know this life. I could do this life. I've been living this life for a long time. So I got this. I got the t-shirt. I know the routine. I can do it all the time. But if I'm honest with myself, this really ain't comfortable. It's just familiar. So first, you got to get real with where you are. And when you do this, I want to invite you to when you're getting real about where you are, I want to invite you to dig a little bit deeper. I want you to explore 2 things when you're getting real about where you are. I want you to get real about how you feel. See, you know how a lot of times we hear things, especially those of us who are in business or corporate environments. It's like, yeah, the feelings don't matter. Let's just check the facts. It's all about the facts. I want to make data-driven decisions. I say that in my business when it's a team meeting. But your feelings actually do matter. So when you're getting real about where you are, I want you to check your feelings and the facts. I was revisiting one of my favorite books of the Bible, Nehemiah, and I was looking at a study, and I remember when I first read this in Nehemiah chapter 2, when Nehemiah had to get real about where he was, and it wasn't just about the facts, but the facts had caused him a feeling. Listen to what the king asked him in Nehemiah chapter 2. It came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him. And I took up the wine and gave it to the king. Okay, Nehemiah's job was the cupbearer. So his job was to take the cup the king's cup, test the drink. And if he didn't die, then the king could go ahead and drink. But if he died, oh well, then his life was dispensable. So anyway, I took the wine and gave it to the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. So we already hear the initiation or the acknowledgement of a feeling because he was sad of an emotion. He was sad in his presence. But verse 2 says, the king says this, wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? Like you ain't sick, so why you sad? Sorry, why I gotta be like that? And then this is what the king said, this is nothing else but sorrow of the heart. Then Nehemiah said, then I was sore afraid. Y'all know what sorrow of the heart is? Now that I read out of the King James Version, but that word there in Hebrew means, it's two definitions of the word. One word is depressed and the other word is discouraged. So if you're reading in multiple variations of the scripture, you may read that Nehemiah was depressed or you may read he was discouraged. Either way, we were looking at the facts and we were looking at Nehemiah's feelings. Nehemiah had gotten some bad news. He'd learned some poor things about those that he loved. And the facts were they were in a poor condition, but it caused him a feeling. So in order for you to get real and move forward to live the life that God has for you, God's best for your life, you got to get real about where you are, the feelings and the facts. What's going on and how does it cause you to feel? Lisa had to get real about where she was. I said Lisa, Sheila. Number 2, get real about what you need. So the first thing you want to do is get real about where you are. But the second thing you want to do is get real about what you need. Now, when I look at what we need, this is what I think about. Many of us, I put 2 things. I'm going to give you the generic terms and I'm going to give you the real terms. The generic terms I use is what are my must-haves and what are the things that I desire? What is I absolutely gotta have and what are the things that I desire? Those are the frivolous things. This is what I need. But in all actuality, we talked about this in part 2, I think in part 1 of this series, where we were talking about catastrophizing and saying things are worse off and acting as if we didn't have anything, like we're starting from scratch, we're starting over. That when you get real about what you need and what your heart needs and what your life needs to navigate this season of transition, I really want you to think about it in terms of these 2 things. So the 2 words that I think about is the term restore and the term rebuild. When you're navigating a season of transition and a season that you're overcoming setback, 2 things are likely necessary. Some things need to be restored and some things need to be rebuilt. Now, the thing about restore, if you can picture in your mind old pictures, old furniture, when you restore old things or tarnished things or things that have been worn or broken a bit, you're not starting from scratch. You're just strengthening what's already there. There are places in your life you just need a little strengthening. You just need a little polishing off. You just need a little mending of the cracks. There are places in your heart that's all you need. A lot of times when women come to me and we come to our work together, sometimes they pass right by me because they feel like this is what I do. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm called to leaders. So it's sometimes we can look at ourselves and be like, I know that already. I know this work. I understand this. I can recite this. I can write the book. This is what I do with my clients. This is what I do with my team. This is what I do for my family. This is what I do on my job. This is what I do in the ministry. And you can get caught off guard, just like Sheila almost got caught off guard because it's like, what could she tell me? Because really, how could this help me? This is what I do. But even if this is what you do, there may be some places where you need a little restoration. You need a little polishing. You need a little strengthening. So that's restoration. But then there's also times when we need to rebuild. And the difference between restoration and rebuilding is rebuilding, you have raw materials and you're constructing something from scratch. You got an idea, you're building it again. Now, sometimes when ladies come into my community, they need the picture of themselves, the way that they've saw themselves, the aspect of their identity that they have is, this is not going to be nice, but I'm just going to say it's trash. It's trash. It was built on a whole faulty foundation. It was built on what they can do. It was built on other people's perception of them. It was built on their grandmama them and their mama them. It ain't built on the truth. We need to tear that whole picture down. We don't need to strengthen it. We need to dismantle it and build again. And so, as you're thinking about what's required for you to move from where you are to where God wants you to be in this season, it is important that you get real on what you really need. Where in your life do you need to be restored? And where in your life do you need to be rebuilt? And here's the thing that I got a bonus third thing I bet you got to get real about. That you can't do this by yourself. Because if you could, you would already do it. Listen, I know you are me. We don't enjoy being stuck in the same place. We don't enjoy going around the same mountain in the same circle. We don't enjoy that. We get no pleasure out of that. So it's not like we're sitting over here like, I got this. I'm good. I'll tough it out. I'll figure it out. No, we need help. Because you know what? I know. I hear you. I'm self-aware. I get it. But the self you are aware of, it may be a faulty picture. You may be looking in the mirror and what you see, it may not be the truth. It may be distorted. So in order to move forward and to, God's best for your life in this season, it's important that you just get real, sis. Just get real. Get real, because you can't fix what you won't face. And the three things you want to get real about is get real about where you are. Get real about what you need. Is it restoration or it's rebuilding? And in most cases, it's both. And get real about the fact that you cannot do it alone. You're going to need some help, but you're going to need good help. You're going to need someone that is equipped to help you, someone that has the tools you need, someone can see what you don't see, someone who's not afraid to call it. The king was very clear when he spoke to Nehemiah. Oh, I know what that is, because you ain't sick. You depressed, Nehemiah. What? He said sorrow in the heart. But really, you going to do me like that, king? But he didn't leave him there. He said it, and then he helped him along his journey. So I want to offer you, if you already know, Janice, listen, where can I get this help? I'd love to help you. I'd love to walk alongside you. I'd love to help you get, as we talk about the three things, get unstuck, get moving. I don't think it was called Get Moving. What was the second one? It was get unstuck, get something, and let's just get real. Head over to the link that's in the top of this video. It's within this video over there, and it'll also be in the caption, because you don't have to settle and you don't have to strive. And so if you know that you're ready to join a life-giving community, to walk along someone who wants to help you live God's absolute best for your life, regardless of the season that you're in, maybe want to help you restore some of those areas that have been just tarnished or worn, just been exhausted by the weight of life, or rebuild just because you had a faulty foundation, or maybe it was never laid. I'd love to be your person. So head over to liveleadserve.com. If you have any questions, any comments, drop them below. I will respond to all of them. Thank you so much. And stay tuned for, episode number 4, our 4th and final episode in this series, Life Happened, Now What? I can't wait to support you. Until next time, be blessed.